ball onto, and it's being led by Fernandes, and now it's in Burma to finish it. He does, and Manchester United lead on the breakaway.
You don't need to do anything with Michael Carrick. You need to let him continue on his journey.
Again, feet on the ground. Let's not get carried away with what's gone on, but it's about what's next again. So big challenge ahead. But we're looking forward to it.
Well, there were cheers at half-time, there were cheers at full-time, and a standing ovation for these Tottenham players, because from 2-0 down at the break, it's finished Spurs 2, Manchester City 2.
That sums Tottenham up for me. First half, not the races, and then the second half, they put in a level of performance that even their fans must be scratching their heads saying, where has that come from?
The ambition is that we want to do very well and carry on with the good performances and beat Man United in 2 days' time.
Man United Spurs then live on talkSPORT after us. Let's talk to Chris Cowlin, who is the host of the Spurs Chat Podcast. Hey Chris, you okay?
Hello Chris.
Thanks Charlie, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Do you know which Tottenham will turn up today?
Which one? Which one are you going to get? You want the European one, right?
That's a very difficult question, that is, and I don't know what answer to give, actually, because we never know what Tottenham we're going to see. We have seen and heard boos at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, certainly this season, many, many times, and particularly in the away games as well, in the last couple, particularly against Burnley, and they were even singing Pochettino's name, the fans, on 3 occasions. But, Spurs must deliver today. We're sitting 14th in the Premier League table. It is far from good enough. We're now looking at the results of like Crystal Palace, Leeds, Forest and West Ham, and I don't want to be looking down the table to see what results they're getting, to see if Spurs are going to be dragged into this relegation fight. We should be challenging for top honours. We should be challenging for a top European place year in, year out, and it seems miles away right now. I feel like we should have done a lot more in the January transfer window to give us a real chance of finishing in a top European spot. But, Manchester United at the moment, under Carrick, since he's come in, 3 wins out of 3. It's been very, very impressive. But Spurs need to deliver. Yes, we've got lots of injuries, but we need points on the board. We knew that Feb was going to be extremely hard. We come back, as commentary said there, we come back in that Manchester City game, boos at half-time, and then, applause at full-time, having come back into the game. Manchester United today, and then, of course, we face Newcastle and Arsenal towards the end of the month as well. So it's a very, very tough Feb, but Spurs need points on the board right now, and we need to climb up that Premier League table and fast.
It's been really toxic at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I got the sense, and I wasn't there, but I got the sense from the crowd and from people that were there that second half against City, like something changed. Like at the end, there was a positivity. It was a great comeback, and people saying that half was the best they've played at home perhaps all season. Is that fair? I mean, it doesn't change everything. It doesn't change, you get home and then you think, actually, it's still not great. But, was there a moment? Did it feel like there was a bond between the players and the fans, and there was some sort of faith in Thomas Frank in this 45 minutes, or is that overstating things?
I think it's overstating that people have faith in Thomas Frank. Yes, I completely agree with you, Max, that it was a very, very impressive second half from Tottenham, particularly after what we saw in the first half. It's fair to say that it was like Manchester City having a training match, that first 45 minutes, and it should have been a lot more than 2-0 at half-time. And, I actually know people that went home at half-time because they thought it was going to be, 5 or 6, in that second half. But it was a completely different performance. This is exactly what we want to see from Tottenham. It's fair to say that we have had some very dismal and boring performances under Thomas Frank this season. But when you see signs, you have to see signs every week, game by game, week by week for me. Have we seen enough under Thomas Frank? No. He's come out and said, in the last couple of days that, we've got to trust the process, and, Spurs are going to go big and they're going to be ambitious in the summer. But us Spurs fans have heard this many, many times about us doing things in certain transfer windows, and it always does seem to be the next year. Yes, there's been a lot of change at the football club, but I just feel like Thomas Frank has almost just been given like a free pass this season. They've said many times, certain members of, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club have said that we are in a transitional season.
Yeah.
So it just seems like, we finished 17th last year, which has been stated so many times by Thomas Frank. And it just seems now like, if we finish 16th or above, then that's acceptable for this season. But as I said at the start, Spurs should always be challenging for a top European spot. And, Vinay Venkateshwaran has come out and said in the Matchday programme a couple of weeks ago before the West Ham game that Spurs, the ambition of the board is to compete regularly in the Champions League and for major honours. My question now for this season is, what is the ambition for this season? Because not once in any press conference or media interview has Thomas Frank said that we are aiming for a European place this season. It just seems to be that it's acceptable that we are finishing or we will finish in a mid-table place, without European football next year.
Yeah, it does feel like that. It feels like you're treading water a bit, doesn't it? There was talk this week of Daniel Levy selling his shares for £1 billion and more investment coming in. There's also talk of Pochettino in the summer once the World Cup's done. Is that what you want? Another season of just new manager, not his players, all that? What do Spurs fans want?
The thing is, Charlie, we need stability at the football club, in my opinion, because since we moved into that new stadium in 2019, we've had 6 permanent managers, 3 interim managers. We've gone round in circles. At that parade, when we won the Europa League in Bilbao in May, that was meant to be the springboard of more success. And, Thomas Frank coming in, adding stability and adding defensive qualities, being more flexible with formations, etc., and taking us forward. If you'd have said to me at that parade or, after we won that Europa League title in Bilbao in May, that in Feb we'd be sitting 14th, 3 points above 17th where we finished last season, I would never have believed you. I'd have hoped that Spurs would have moved on. You look at United today, they're 4th in the Premier League. They seem to be going places right now and seem to be going for that Champions League spot for next year. You would have thought that Manchester United actually won the title, in Bilbao. Yeah. So it's disappointing.
Here's an offer for you, Chris.
Oh,
okay. Arsenal have the league title.
Okay. Yeah.
And you are 1-0 down to them in the Champions League final. Do you take it? Half time.
Max, I can't answer any of those questions with to do with Arsenal. I just can't. Spurs need
no,
to...
but what I'm saying is, it means Tottenham are in the Champions League final, but you're 1-0 down at half time to Arsenal. They've got the Premier League, but you could win the Champions League.
But we saw what happened 20 seconds in the Champions League final in 2019 with that penalty decision. So
all
I would take right now...
Football should go back to then. Yeah.
I just hope that Spurs finish in a European spot. I feel like it's a bit of a miracle at the moment. As I said, I think that we needed to do more in the transfer window to give us that chance of climbing up that Premier League table. Injuries have been such an issue as well. It's not all on Thomas Frank. The players need to give more. The injuries have been a real issue. Lots of changes at the football club. So it isn't just one problem. It is a collective problem right now across the football club. A lot needs to change. A lot has changed, but a lot more changes need to happen in the summer. And, we need to go out and spend money. We need to go out and buy impact players that are going to improve the squad, give us that depth as well.
All right, good stuff, Chris. Thanks for coming
Brilliant,
on.
Chris. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Come on, you Spurs. Chris Cowlin there, host of the Spurs Chat Podcast. That's a good offer, that, Charlie, isn't it?
Good offer. I mean...
1-0 down, but you could lose to Arsenal in the Champions League final and they won the league. So then that's a really bad summer.
Yeah.
What's
the other offer that no one wins anything?
The other offer is you just play out the season.
Play out the season and have fun. I mean, you're meant to enjoy it, is the thing.
Yeah, have a nice time.
It's meant to be people's favourite thing.
Yeah. Anyway, Stuart Pearce will join us next.